So why is Ruto so keen on Luo Nyanza?
Good people of HomaBay, that I am going to work with your leaders, the ones you have elected, so that we can develop our country together. Competition is over. Si tumemaliza mambo ya mashindano? Si tumemaliza mambo ya mashindano? Si ile kazi imebaki ni sisi kuwafanyia kazi sasa? Si ni kweli? Muko tayari kufanya kazi na mimi?
And that has to do with a few reasons. The first one being that, of course, Raila's advancing age. So in Ruto's thinking, of which is rather insensitive, is that he can play part in the Luo succession matrix and try to install his own leadership, which I don't think is gonna succeed, because I personally think Raila is going to pull strings in Luo Nyanza unless his mental capacity will not allow him. But so long as he has a breath, so long as he's capable of making decisions, small or big, Raila will continue pulling strings until he dies. He's those kind of people. You may not see him out here. He may even just stay in his mansion in Bondo, and he will run a huge political operation, comparably. When he was putting up his government, the behind the scenes maneuvers were ruthless, and the greatest ruthlessness that he experienced was mostly from the Mount Kenya folks. I mean, they demanded their 47%. There was no mercy, and I don't know where this and there's different of them, and I think he has come to the realization and learning that in 2027 he will either lose the Mount Kenya vote, or if he gets it, it's not going to be a walk in the park. And with Kalonzo's rising, and considering that Kikuyus are cousins of Kambas, I think Kalonzo stands a very good chance of penetrating central Kenya. And also, Ruto is also playing politics of debt. The Kikuyus have already paid him their debt, the debt that they owed him. So he is looking at trying to reclaim the debt owed to him by the Luo people, because in 2007, the Kalenjins voted for ODM to the last man. And that is what Ruto touts as his role in catapulting Raila to the prime ministerial position, actually the highest position that Raila has ever held. So Kikuyus have paid their debt to him. He probably thinks that he cannot claim any other debt. Actually, he now owes them a debt. And so the only people and Luos have had their debts paid. So the only people that he can claim a debt to are the Luos. And considering that he wants to reclaim the ODM 2007 voting machine, he is starting his assault from Luo Nyanza, so that from there he can build a political machine that runs from Luo Nyanza and extends into his Kalenjin land. The thing about being a Kalenjin kingpin, and this is what made Moi very paranoid, is that Kalenjin land is this encircled area, and they are encircled in all flanks by major and large tribes. Yet their culture within the Kenyan population is not as dominant. The Kalenjin community is encircled, and when I say encircled, I mean there's many flanks. In military we call it. So when you have a military formation, the enemy can come from the south, from the east, from the north. So we call those flanks. So There's the Mudavadis or western flank. So Western province, a kingpin can emerge from there and stop him from advancing westwards. A Luo kingpin can emerge and stop him from getting any Luo vote. And even Kikuyus are to his east. They can a Kikuyu kingpin can emerge, and it could be Rigathi, it could be it could be Uhuru Kenyatta is still viable. I mean, he can rise from the ashes and put a spirited political fight. So he can put up a coalition that can, a Kikuyu coalition that can stop Ruto from growing. I think from here, that's the best Ruto could perform in central Kenya. From here, it's all going to be downhill because it's unlikely that he will deliver the barrage of promises that he made. Most of them were baloney and empty promises. The global dynamics do not allow him to deliver, and some of them it was like straight out of Jupiter, and he's not gonna meet those promises that he made. So with Kikuyus going, he has to find a replacement with a passionate ethnic community, and that is how Luos come in. But the challenge is that he has to compete to have his debt honored. The debt that Luos remember well is the one for Kalonzo. So, and with Kikuyus increasingly becoming friendly with I've seen recent postings, they're increasingly becoming friendly to Kalonzo, meaning that they're likely to, that's their alternative in case they break up with Ruto. And Kikuyus, if they break up with Ruto, it's going to be because of fundamentals. Because if the economy does not do well under Ruto, the Kikuyus will feel the pinch. You know, the Kikuyu elite are the business people, the owners of capital, the captains of industry. So if Ruto does not do well, which is likely the case, then there'll be a mass exodus of Kikuyus. And if Kikuyus do an exodus, there'll be a lot of regrets. There'll be a lot of blaming of each other. And the natural home is going to be a coalition with Kalonzo, because Kalonzo did help Kibaki during the during the Mkate Nusu government. He stood by Kibaki to the very end. He was a very loyal vice president, and Kikuyus remember that. Actually, most analysts believe Kibaki did not win, but the person who tilted the scales in favor of Kibaki was none other than Kalonzo Musyoka. So Kikuyus do remember that. And so this is a debt that I think in case Raila decides to not be on the ballot in 2027, Kalonzo is going to be a very competitive candidate in central Kenya. He's going to be more competitive than even Raila Odinga. So folks, thank you so much. And I think that's it about the Ruto visit to Homa Bay. Thank you.